for anyone that's sensitive about recording on the Zoom call. So evening everyone. My name is Hugh McKee. I'm the technical chair, the Technical Tuesday Committee for the ISB Singapore affiliate. I would like to welcome you all to our Technical Tuesday talk. Tonight's discussion is on data integrity and data integrity management for pharmaceuticals. Our speaker this evening is Saddam Nawaz. Saddam may be familiar to some of our members. Saddam supported the ISB Singapore Young Professionals Mentoring Program as a mentor. Saddam graduated from the University of Dhaka, Bangladesh with an MSc in chemistry. The last 11 years spent with ACL Healthcare Limited, where he is currently employed as a QA manager. Saddam's experience is in the development, integration, management, and improvement of quality management systems for GMP manufacturing and technical processes. He has a broad perspective of manufacturing capabilities, global compliance standards, and how to integrate the two within an efficient and effective quality system. We hope to have questions at the end of the talk. So without further ado, please give a warm welcome to Saddam Nawaz.
Thank you, Hugh. Thank you, Linda, for welcoming me. So can I start?
Yes, certainly do, please.
I think my screen is... Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Today I'm going to talk about data integrity and DI management for pharmaceuticals. I would like to thank ISB Singapore affiliate for inviting me for this talking session. And I'd like to thank you and Linda and Jane Wee for inviting me for this session. So I'm belong to ACI Healthcare Limited as a quality head. ACI Healthcare Limited is a public limited company. It is a generic drug manufacturer, and it's a part of ACI Limited, which is a conglomerate's biggest conglomerates in Bangladesh. ACI Healthcare basically producing and marketing pharmaceutical products for regulated markets, especially USA and Europe. Myself, already Hughes introduced me that I short bio. Then I would like to also add that I have experience on project management of greenfield pharmaceuticals project, and I have sound understanding of risk-based and science-based pharmaceutical quality management system, complying all regulatory regulations. I worked on different molecules and different dosage forms of process validation and technology transfer. Dosage forms include tablet capsules, oral liquids, injectables, metered-dose inhalers, even the biomolecules like insulin, etc. I worked on numerous commission and qualification validation projects, including process, analytical method, facility system equipment qualification, laboratory systems, and computer system validation, and transport system validation and cleaning validation. So actually working with pharmaceuticals field is not only my job, it's my passion. So so today's agenda I will cover data integrity and its importance, data integrity guidances, available guidances published from different regulatory agencies, data integrity root causes, and holistic data governance systems for pharmaceuticals, and how to handle data integrity audits. You can see this chart where numerous data integrity issues happen globally. That this chart is covers from 2008 to 2018, where China, USA, India, all countries, including Europe, these are all getting data integrity related warning letters. China, USA, India is top in position. China got at 58 warning letters from 2008 to 2018, and India is second position. Actually, those countries having numerous number of pharma manufacturing unit. That's why the number is higher. But if you see that it's also a pandemic situation, like all through the globe, that the huge number of data integrity issues happen, including Singapore also in 2017. So this is a very critical area for manufacturer, for regulator, for patients. If you cannot control this issue, then your business, your patient safety will be at risk. Excuse me. Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, loud and clear.
Sorry to my network interruption. So what warning letters reveals about data integrity? See, the firm failed to document production and process control functions at the time of performance. At the time of performance, most of the activities are not performed, such as operator recorded the amount of materials dispensed before it was dispensed. The employee admitted they do not record at the time of performance. Quality assurance employee signed as reviewing and releasing a batch when he did neither. Firm blended out of specification API batches, passing batches to meet specifications. Failing results were often kept in separate folders, and the failing data was not considered when making release decisions. Firm did not document laboratory activities at the time of performance. Predating, backdating laboratory records, especially for assay analysis, loss on drying, sample logging, and stability testing. Let's see more. Firm failed to maintain complete information relating to the production and control of each batch. 23 batches did not contain batch numbers, manufacturing dates, expiration, and retest dates. Approximately 75 pre-batch production records are found in the garbage. 10 bags of torn or partially destroyed original records, including CAPA, PM forms, and calibration records are found. Raw data was written on scratch paper and sometimes differed from the data in the PPA. Correction fluid was used on production records. So these are the typical data integrity issues that are coming, and that's violate 21 CFR 211.188 from FDA regulations. Data integrity issues related to discrepancies of failure were not investigated. 4 batches of failing API were used in 15 finished doses batches. Failing assays were repeated until passing results were obtained. The monitoring results were recorded as 0 but actually had growth. Unofficial visual exam conducted for sterile injectables to remove vials and visible contamination so that the batch would pass the official visual exam. Use 3 different analytical methods until obtaining passing results. Similarly, numerous warning letters are cited regarding audit trails, disable username and passwords, GXP system are shared, data manipulated, deleted, overwrite without any evidence. Sample weight, sample preparation, sample dilutions were not retained. Deleted data detected in audit trails, overwriting data, duplicate logbooks were kept in the laboratory as well as in the factory premises. Consistencies between electronic records and paper-based records. Inconsistencies, sorry. No procedure in place for the backup and protection of data on standalone workstations. Lack of computer logs to prevent unauthorized access to operating systems. So I think it's really monotonous to read lots of issues, but I'd like to say that without understanding what is happening in the uh, pharmaceutical industry regarding data integrity, uh, discussion on data integrity will not make any sense. So that I have read all these previous data integrity issues. So where it is started in May 2005, Apple Laboratories those had a stock market valuation of about $100 million. That firm got bankrupt in October 2005 due to data integrity issues and had 7 drug applications withdrawn and had to recall 3,184 batches of product. Similarly, in 2006, Rainbig C got 4 warning letters, 3 import alerts, 2 consent decrees due to data integrity issues. And finally, they have to sell their business to other organizations. So cost of data integrity is really high. That brings you 483 observations, warning letters, import alerts, product recalls, seizures, consent decree, loss of sales, loss of jobs, loss of share values. And finally, when data integrity issues happened in your farm, if it detected, then you have to hire consultancy or third party to remove this issue from your farm. So it's all about cost. So the cost of non-compliance is always exceeds the cost of compliance. So what is data in pharmaceuticals? If you check MHRA guidance, and there they said that data means all original records and true copies of original records, including source data and metadata, and that all subsequent transformation and reports of this data that are generated or recorded at the time of GXP activity. Complete reconstruction and evaluation of the GXP activity also needed. World Health Organization says that data means all original records and true copies of original records, including source data and metadata. All subsequent transformations and reports of this data which are generated and recorded at the time of GXP activity and allow full and complete reconstruction evaluation. Data should be accurately recorded by permanent means at the time of activity. Data may be contained in paper records such as worksheets and logbooks, electronic records and audit trails, photographs, microfilms and microfiche, audio or video files, or any other media, whereby information related to GXP activities is recorded. So through this definition, we understand that in a GMP farm, all the GMP activities related to data, those original records and true copies of original records and complete data, and those data when it needed for even evaluations, all are very important, and those are basically data defined by MHRA and World Health Organizations. This is a familiar statement by Henry Ford that quality means doing it right when no one is looking. These same statements are sometimes used for data integrity, that data integrity means doing it right when no one is looking. That means it's personal integrity, that a person should have to be integrity in his inside to maintain his official and job-related data integrity issues. So this is unofficial definition. So let's see some official definition of data integrity. Where FDA said that data should be complete, consistent, accurate. And they said about that data should be attributable, legible, contemporaneously recorded, original, or true copy. This is a familiar term that we all know, that is ALCOA. IEE said integrity is actually prevents unauthorized access to unauthorized access or modification of computer programs or data. World Health Organization and MHRA said data integrity is the degree to which the data are complete, consistent, accurate, trustworthy, reliable, and that these characteristics of the data are maintained throughout the data lifecycle. And through the data lifecycle, the similar thing, data should be attributable, legible, contemporaneous, recorded, and original and accurate. Who added another line that assuring data integrity requires appropriate quality and risk management systems. That means a firm should have quality risk management systems and appropriate quality management to manage data and data governance in their organization, with in adherence to sound scientific principles and good documentation practices. NIST said data integrity means the property that that data has not been altered in unauthorized manner. They emphasize on that data cannot be manipulated or destroyed or deleted unauthorized manners. Data integrity covers data in storage, during processing, and while in transition from one system to another system. So last slide, we see that LCOA is a term that is very familiar, and mostly all data integrity slides have, presentation have discussion regarding LCOA, so I would like to go briefly. LCOA, the first A for attributable, that is who record or modified the data and when. And whenever you gonna correct any data, for example, you said the calculation error, there should be personnel signature and date that who performed this correction and when. So this means data should be attributable. See this number. Someone will say it is 27, someone will say it is 29. So it's not understandable. It's not legible. Legible means data should be understandable, and data must be legible for the entire lifetime of the document. That means no data cannot be faded out or deleted from the initiation and the data retirement. So all through that means through the data lifecycle, the data should be legible. Data to be permanent, and do not use erasable ink, pens, and pencils. During correction, you cannot destroy your wrong data. You should correct it rightly this way and do sign and signature with date. That means you are destroying your wrong data. This is not legible. So the practice should be like this. Contemporaneous is very important. Record the data just immediately during performance. Sometimes someone sometimes people do sorry.
Yeah, sorry, Saddam, someone was just speaking there. I've just muted them. Continue, please.
Sometimes people do that they perform work today and sign day after tomorrow. So this is not acceptable. You have to sign on that day, on that moment. And sometimes people also do some backdating. This is also a big data integrity issue. So in this case, most electronic results are automatically date and time stamped, so that automation and electronic measures is much better than manual entry for sure. Original means that, see this example of a chromatogram where we see a raw chromatogram from computer. This is original data. But whenever you print out this chromatogram, this is neither original. So what this copy is a true copy of this original copy. And some devices don't have stored data, such as a pH meter printer. So that print data is considered as an original data. And if you use thermal printer page, then that data can be faded out and can be issue of legibility. So you have to keep copy of this thermal printout data. That's you have reachable data for the data lifecycle. Accuracy. Data should be accurate. Data should be accurate, and data must be without errors. And if any correction needed, you have to document that through change control. If it's a printable data, then you may have to do change control, or if your organization have a procedural philosophy of ratification, then you can do that. Or sometimes some handwriting data you can apply good documentation practice that you cut the correction wrong data and correct it and sign and signature it and checked by someone else. So data should be accurate. So LQA, and there is some 4 elements that include with LQA, and give LQA is another term that is LQA plus, and those elements are complete, consistent, enduring, available. That means data should be complete. All data, including failed results, must also be recorded and archived. That means you cannot delete, you cannot read out, you cannot throw your failed results. You also keep your failed results with the investigation data or your right data. So failed results also kept with your correct data, and that means you complete your data. Consistency. Record data sequentially or in a chronological manner. For example, we cannot do operation qualification OQ without IQ document approval. So do the things sequentially. For example, some forms and checklists, there is a procedure to sign an approval first and then go for next approval. You cannot go to the last approval first. You have to go sequentially. Enduring. Data must last for the lifetime of the document. Until the document are not further used in a firm, then you can destroy the document with the proper manner, and you should have a policy of destruction of documents. But until through the product life cycle or equipment life cycle, and related documents should have enduring capability. For example, you cannot use corrupted electronic data, and you must keep data backup of your electronic data and your paper documents as well. And final element is available. Data should be available during inspections. You should retrieve from its archive at once whenever auditor or your internal audit team will ask that you need to see, then they want to see a data or document, you have to bring them as early as possible. Even though restored capacity from your electronic backup document should be ensured. That means your all backup data can be restored. Periodically, you have to check it. There are numerous guidance published regarding data integrity. FDA published their data integrity guidance. Which one is last one? Data integrity and compliance with drug CGMP questions and answer guidance for industry in 2016. But earlier they have some similar guidance. MHRA also published their final guidance, that is MHRA GXP data integrity definitions and guidance for industry in 2018. Earlier they have a draft guidance in 2015, published in 2015. European Medicine Agency also published data integrity related guidance, that is EMR question and answer GMP data integrity. Eventually, World Health Organizations and PEAKS also published data integrity guidances. So all these guidance have a numerous beautiful information regarding data governance system, data management, and data policy as well. So those documents are readily available in the internet. Data integrity root causes. In this slide, I have distinguished root causes of data integrity in 3 categories, that is people, organization, culture, and process, facility, system, and equipment. People are the key element in your organization. So if people are ignorant of data integrity issue, and they don't have sufficient education, understanding of data integrity, then you will face data integrity issues. Some people have don't care, won't get caught attitude. This is their personality problem. So you have to take care of these kind of personality problems through your HR or your policy. Human error is normal, but fear of mistakes is not normal. Organization should not have this kind of culture that people feel fear after doing anything wrong, and they cannot express their problem or wrong deeds to their supervisors. So it's really important that the organization should be open to discuss about anything. Some personality have willful falsification and manipulation characteristics that should be identified and appropriate action should be taken. Sometimes management and senior management pressure is also issue that affect people, and they sometimes say that I'm told by leader. Why are you doing this? Why you are violating this SOP? They say that I'm told by my supervisor or I'm told by my manager. Lack of good documentation practice is also a big reason that people got trained on good documentation practice, but they slowly forget about what they have learned. So continuous good documentation practice is very much important in your organization. Lack of understanding that everyone in the company is responsible for data and quality. Actually, quality and data integrity or data perfectness is everyone's responsibility. It's not quality unit responsibility. It's not IT responsibility. It's all organizations, all members' responsibility. Organization cultures. Some organizations don't have any policy of data integrity and lack of quality management system that relate to data integrity and data policy. They don't have appropriate internal audit and oversight regarding data integrity or data related issues. Those organizations have data manipulation practice cultures and poor controls or data management system. Companies should have appropriate management review program. If you have a frequent management review program and monitoring, that will give you a tremendous improvement in your quality culture. Culture of fear, blame, and punishment is not acceptable. We can train and counsel our fellow employees or colleagues, and if they cannot capable, they have to transfer for another kind of duties those he or she fit for. Technophobia of key staff. Some organizations have technophobia. That means they are not interested to turn into automation or modern technologies such as Pharma 4. Although Pharma 4 is a big thing, it's take so long time, I think. But we have to taking care of technology because technology gives us good assurance and good data integrity confidence. Inappropriate process and method validation is also a part of issue of data integrity. Lack of computer system validation, lack of IT policies, inappropriate system design is also a part of data integrity issue. Poor GXP lifecycle management, that means after validation, requalification, maintenance, revalidations are not done appropriately, that systems may produce wrong data or giving wrong information. So that should be ensured. Lack of security, backup, authorities, access controls. In laboratory, all the systems should have appropriate access control. In the shop floor, the manufacturing equipment should have access control, and the data backup and backup policy and authority level should be determined. All computer systems not complying with Part 11 and Annex 11. Some organizations have some old equipment, those have not 21 CFR Part 11 properties, compliance properties, or Annex 11 properties. That equipment should be identified and can be updated. So what we understand that data integrity is not about on data only. It's a holistic thing. It's an organization culture, organization policy, your practice, your people, your equipment, your system. So to understand data governance system, you have to check that this whole thing, your quality management related to data governance, and your senior management is responsible for quality management system and data governance system. So commitment of senior management for right quality system and data governance systems is very, very important. Management leadership for data integrity, their communication program with the colleagues and employees, and feedback to the management through quality metrics, and continuous data governance review is very important for data governance system. Organization have policies and we should have policies and procedure, principle of data integrity, right staff training, commitment to data reliability from the staff should be taken and should be clearly defined to them that you are committed, you are not to violate organizations for philosophy or SOP, etc. Data ownership should be defined. That means the user or the department head is the data owner. Their roles and responsibilities should be defined, and they are the main person who are responsible for data review in that area. And keeping availability of records is his or her responsibility. If this records is a part of central document control department, then he or she must transfer appropriate record to the central document control department. I already talked about working environment, open culture, expected behavior. Investigation should be done for aberrant results, and appropriate CAPA should be taken. Assessment of process systems, which system is highly risk for data integrity, which system is not that much a risk, that should be identified. Monitoring and of process and systems should be performed. If any data or any changes happen in a system, that change control data should be managed appropriately. And finally, your outsourcing. That means if you work with CMO, if you work with contract testing laboratory, and your source of supply, your supplier management procedure, their data is also part of your quality policy. So you should have appropriate quality policy to handle your CMO data, your supplier data, and you should have a technical and quality agreements with them. And definitely you have to audit them frequently. Quality management system should have a good quality oversight of data integrity audits and data integrity investigations and appropriate CAPA plans. So these are the whole picture of data governance pictures in a single slide. Although these all individual topics is very need detailed discussions. As time is short, it's not possible, but it's a good idea for you that what is data governance related to your organizations. Let us check data layer of organization. If we consider data layer, our first layer is our foundation layer, that is right culture and ethics of data integrity, where management, senior management is responsible, and they have to study right procedure training. The layer for quality control laboratory, the level 1 layer, is relates to right instrument and systems for the right job. You have to have qualified and validated intended purpose system, and that system should have right analytical procedure for right job, and validated method should be used. That means your system, validated system is level 1, right method is level 2 for data in data layers, and level 3 is right analysis by the right person, and how the data acquired and transformed, and is the data complete, is the data accurate, is the data consistent. That is a part of level 3 data oversight. Similarly, for production system, Level 1, right equipment and right validated system should be available that produce accurate data. Right manufacturing process, that means right validated process should be used with the system to achieve right data for your from your BMR, from your BPO. And then level 3 is batch manufacturing record. That means batch manufacture for the right product, data supporting right quality of the product. Batch record meets marketing authorization, should meet marketing authorization. So this is a data layer for production and quality control. There is a link of layer 3 from production to quality control that then produce product and they test products. That's the data layer is in level 3 has a relationship. And there is an enabler of quality oversight. That means they will check every stage quality are ensured. These stages, and that stage also. And they will perform data integrity audits, data integrity investigations. This is a data integrity layers for pharmaceutical quality system. Let's talk about data integrity foundation layer in more detail, where we see that every organization should have data integrity policy, and that policy should be approved by senior management, and that policy should be shared to all staffs. They should know what is the policy of the organizations related to data integrity. Company commitment to the policy statement, and they should define appropriate staff who will work in their organizations. That means right HR policy also very important. Expected staff should be defined for intended work. Responsibilities of executive management, next level management, and employees should be defined. Data integrity functions, you have to check that whether the data integrity functions are defined or not. Roles and responsibilities are defined or not. Data ownership are defined or not. Compliance programs, all SOP, all written policies are related to your organizations will give you good support of data integrity. Training, compliance, auditing and monitoring is also very important, so that you have to check that all data integrity and related SOP are available. How to document that policy, and how you given that policy training, and are that training or documents are regularly updated? Are you performing internal audit? Compliance concern, open door discussion should be important with the top management and the next level management and the next level. No fear, no punishment issues are strictly prohibited. That if someone made some mistake, that things should be checked confidentially, and consequence of that code of violation of that employee should be filed for investigations. And during unity audit, maybe they will ask you that what level of data integrity issues happened in your organization. Let me see, let me check. So you have to maintain that data integrity violations event, and you have to have a awareness program of the violations, of the policy violations, and training policy of the staff, and keep evidence of understanding that your staff who have violated the data integrity policy or any policy, that he had understand the policy, and he have, and his as training is successful, evident these things. Level 1 analytical instrument qualification, where design qualification, you must make sure that user requirements documentation are appropriate, and that user requirement, according to that user requirements user requirement specifications, you check your system's design qualifications, and you perform installation qualifications correctly. Protocols are approved, and then you have performed the execution protocol, and final approved protocol. After executed protocol, that is reviewed and next stage and released for next stage. So these are the questions you may apply that for example, in OQ, are you check tested versus user requirements? Are you use calibrated requirement? Are protocol approved and pre-execution? Documented evidence collected? Issues resolved? All the issues during OQ, are it resolved or pending? Are the protocol reviewed after post-executions? Instrument log, SOP of use should be available in that time. During performance qualification, make sure that your system SOP and other things are available. Change control policy are available. And during OQ, if you have if you need any major repair, then that major repair should go through change control policy. So these are the layer 1 instrument qualification that also support you data integrity policy in your organization. And whenever instrument get retired, then check that instrument decontaminated contamination performed perfectly with documented evidence. Are you shared as a member with the finance department? Are the last inventory updated? And the document related to this retired equipment are removed from the site with the appropriate manner. Computer system validations related data integrity practice is also similar. That is, scope of validation should be defined in the validation master plan. Roles and responsibilities should be defined. System risk assessment should be performed. Lifecycle and documented evidence should be defined. Similarly, user requirements, functional requirements, compliance requirements, risk assessment for the system and its criticality should be identified in the user requirements, and check that the system is configured appropriately. And after system build, perform all tests regarding what relates to user requirements and configuration, functional requirements, and hardware requirements and software requirements. Check the software elements are qualified, protocols is approved before pre-execution, and protocol is reviewed after post-execution. User acceptance test against requirements intended use for validation. Are the SOPs available for the equipment operations or the software operations or computer system operations? Finally, are the traceability metrics are available for user requirements, configurations, specifications, system build, configure applications up to user acceptance. And finally, make a validation summary report that is planned and that is successfully made, performed, and any departure and deviation during validation of the computer system or any related laboratory system. All testing issues should be discussed and documented. This is level 1 after foundation of data integrity policy of your organization, and this level 1 I have covered. And next level, level 2, actually I'm covering the laboratory part mostly. So where analytical procedure.
Okay, Saddam, sorry to interrupt you. Just to give you a time check, it's now 6:15, so we have 15 minutes left. So I'll leave it up to yourself whether you want to give 5 minutes or 10 minutes at the end for any questions.
Okay.
Yeah, so we leave it for the last 5 minutes for questions?
So, in layer 2, you have to okay. Just tell me, Jan, when I have to stop, okay?
Yeah, we'll
so
stop.
In layer 2, you have. So this is a layer 2 there you have to validate your analytical procedure, and you have to perform process design of analytical procedure. You have to perform qualification and continued performance qualification of analytical procedure. And this is your method development part, where instrument qualified and computer system validated is the question for DI. Method development, report available, analytical target profile with measurement and uncertainty defined, critical process parameter for the method are defined, analytical control strategy and normal operations range are defined. That should be also be checked. This is very important because without appropriate developed method, you will not get an appropriate result. So method validation should be performed as per ICHQ to R1. Then you must check that after method validation, your method validation report are available, your protocol defined for work that's successfully done. Then experimental results, data transfers between defined systems and records are checked. Final results and report match raw data and calculations. This is your ongoing performance verification of your analytical method in your laboratory. Check that your method are operating perfectly. If any OS and OET happened during analysis or using this method, discuss the rules, and if this method need to be changed, perform change control appropriately, and confirm the trending analytical data of the method and percentage of OT, OE, and OS of analysis by this method. So continued verification of method and the evidence of that data is also very important. So I can skip this two slide. I think this time will not cover. Let's see that we have to check some procedures of data integrity management for your organization. Laboratory data integrity procedure need qualification, validation of analytical instrument software, analytical procedure development and validation, performance monitoring. You have to have reference standards, buffer, mole-face media standard, documentation or policy. Is how you set up your instrument, chromatographs, spectrometers. You have to have a procedure for instrument maintenance and users logs, handling complete data, paper, hybrid electronic systems, chromatographic data integration, interpretation of scientific data, review of audit trails, attending of analytical data, investigation out of specification results. These procedures you need to have. Quality assurance development should have good documentation practice, management of staff training, change management, deviation management, CAPA actions, record retention, raising compliance concerns, QA data integrity audits policy, QA data integrity investigation policy, backup and restore for your computer systems and network systems. And you should have a disaster recovery for your electronic data and paper data, and audit and quality agreement. So these generic procedures will help you to establish your organization data integrity practice well. Data integrity audit. Usually auditor asks for the notice that data integrity overview are not present in opening presentation. So whenever you have faced regulatory audits, keep a data integrity overview in your presentation slide during opening meeting. The skill level of auditor and auditee is variable, so that develop your auditee who are expert to handle the auditors who are very much aware and train up on data integrity and data related issues. They usually give more time in the QC laboratory, usually 1 to 5 days. Traceability of raw data start to end is very common. They would like to check from first to last. Review of data in the laboratory. They will check paper-only systems. They will check network systems. They will check data in the standalone equipment. And they will take time to capture quality management system elements by default. And your auditor definitely will ask you for your organization data integrity policy. They will check your how you manage your paper systems, forms, logbooks, batch records. They will check your computerized system inventory. They will check your manufacturing system, which have preset parameters. they will visit that places and will check that systems such as MES systems, if you have LIMS, if you have barcodes, if you have check Wager systems, if you have purified water system, WFI, sterilize, their EMS, BMS, they will visit that places and will check that audit trail and all the electronic data. In the laboratory, they will check sampling, handle, process, ask for the raw data, where is the raw data saved. They will understand, they will check, sometimes we usually show auditor any report, but they will always seek for raw data. Make sure that change and date time for winter and summer are recorded and appropriately documented.
Okay, great presentation so far, Saddam. Let's just put it to
Okay, thank you.
Everyone on the call. There's been a few questions. One question that I see on the chat groups are related to the slides. Are these slides available to the members who are on the call tonight?
Well, I can share this to you. No problem.
Okay. And look, I'm trying to filter out any questions. I suppose my own question is, there's one slide regards the guidance documents on the regulatory bodies. A lot of them were dated back 2014, 16, 18. Do you know, is there any future regulatory guidance documents coming out?
No, actually, at that moment, there is no guidance are coming out, because mostly all the guidance are talking about the same thoughts. That means you have had a good corporate and quality culture in your organization. That means you see that we have 21 CFR Part 11 regulations, we have automations, we have lot of we have MES, we have Pharma 4, but people are getting warning letters. Why? The main reasons, they do not manage their corporate culture, their company's culture, which is very much important. That's why my slide is quite bigger. I cannot explain those things due to shortage of time. But I would like to address you through my slide that if you are not managing holistic organization corporate culture, then data integrity issue will be remain in your organization, or the organization who are not understand what actually they need.
Okay, I see one question here from Lynette. As most companies are moving towards electronic data, some old systems equipment do not have sufficient audit trail requirements as per 21 CFR 11. Is the only way to cover these via procedural controls?
Yes, this is good questions. That there is old equipment, and some equipment don't have electronic audit trails and any other kind of similar kind of mode. So in that case, what they do, they have inventory of their systems, and they have a checklist and have a options that these documents have audit trail and these documents don't have audit trail, and they have a procedure that which systems don't have audit trail, they are maintaining their system and data in that way, or maybe double check, or maybe taking screen capture, or any other means that they have to prove the auditor that they are honest and their data is not manipulated. But they should have a policy, and definitely auditor will ask them that which systems don't have audit trail, do you have that inventory?
Okay, if there's no other questions, we'll call it a wrap. And many thanks to Saddam for tonight's presentation. I think the slides have the most details we've seen on any slides this year on Technical Tuesday. And thanks again, Saddam.
Okay, thank you very much, Hughes, and thank you, Linda.